Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with another heavy rotations video. Wanted to do an update for y'all since Christmas, show you some really cool records and tell you just a little bit of an update what's going on here. This is going to be a little bit more of a personal episode. Obviously sharing some records, but at the end I'm gonna talk about what's going on in our lives. This is my wife's guitar. I bought her for Christmas, and I might play a little ditty on it if I feel up to it. So she got me this really nice coffee mug. It's called a Captain's mug. Really sweet. Some of our friends make like they roast coffee and make pottery and do like leather stuff. They're called Cagel's Birds, and they make some really cool things. So check them out if you're into that type of thing. Some good coffee that they roasted as well. But yeah, I've been trying to get my kids. Well, my kids have been into records. Well, because they see me in here listening to records, and they like, especially Cannon, my 5-year-old. He's always picking out records based on the covers, and he always like anytime he finds a cover, like he loves that Toad record because the Toad. He loves dinosaurs and bugs and frogs and stuff. Like it's just his thing. He loves it. So he's this typical boy, loves that stuff. But I had one of these come in the shop. I had a couple of these, those reissues come in the shop of Pylon Chomp. What's funny is he has this stuffed T-Rex that he sleeps with, and he's named it Chomp. Like probably a year ago, he named it Chomp. So that's Chomp. And so I never really thought about it until I hadn't seen this record in a while. Hadn't really thought about it in a while. It didn't come around very much. And so this came around, this reissue came around, and I grabbed one for him because it was called Chomp. And, he almost doesn't care what the record sounds like as much as the pictures on the cover and like the inner sleeve. These look like all like, concrete dinosaurs that were in a putt-putt somewhere. But yeah, it's on orange vinyl. And I told him it was lava colored, and he loved it, But he listens to it all the time. He wants to come up here and listen to it, and he likes it, So I feel like that's a good way to expose him to some cool music. Him being just a little guy. I gotta show you this right. So my other son, Noble, his favorite movie in the world is Open Season. And so Open Season, this is a 10-inch. Paul Westberg from The Replacements did the soundtrack for Open Season. This came out like 2008, I think. And so this is really hard to get. This is a 10-inch, and it's actually really good. Paul Westberg is incredible. And the soundtrack is not real, you could hear it and think not know it had anything to do with a kid's movie. It's really good. And so I wanted to get him something that he'd be excited about, and he was so thrilled about this. Like, he'll get my phone and turn on this soundtrack on my phone. Like this, he's always done it because he loves this movie. It's been his favorite movie for years. And so, I was like, man, I should find that soundtrack because I think it's on vinyl somewhere. And like they go for like $60, and somebody had one on Discogs for $40, and they said that the cover was in G shape. Had some bent corners and stuff, and I put in an offer, $25. They took it, and yeah, it's got some bent corners and stuff, but like I don't really care, and he doesn't care. Obviously, he loves it. So anyway, the Christmas album that was on the heaviest rotation this year was Natty Christmas by Jacob Miller. This was incredible. Got this at Double Decker Records. A friend of mine that came down to the shop, he picked it up for me a while back. And Cannon, my 5-year-old, he says it looks like he's got an ocean in his pouch because he's got like these little palm trees. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what's going on. But it's just really cool reggae, Christmas reggae, and we loved it. We listened to it a lot. My buddy of mine had this record for sale, and it's been on my list. I've been wanting it for a long time. It's called Missing Link, Nevergreen. Really great record. It's a original German press, and it is clean as a Dutch whistle. Really great prog. I've been looking for this for a while, so I was glad to add that to the collection. This is another one. This one's not like a super expensive record, but this is Neutrals. I think these go for like 50 or something, but this is really, really good Italian psych. I've been listening to this quite a good bit. My son Cannon says that this is DB Cooper. So he likes this record because he thinks that looks like DB Cooper. Like, I don't even think he knows what DB Cooper looks like, but anyways, that's a cool one. This one is called Atlantide. Francisco de Ricordello. Anyways, this is it's a pretty rare record. These guys are Italian, but it's released in Germany. It's fantastic hard rock record. Really good, really, really good. I put this on my Find This Record Instagram with some sound clips and stuff. But I've been listening to this quite a bit. It's got some real heavy lickage on it, so might want to check that out. Pulled a couple. This is one I shared on Find This Record in my Instagram story last night. I've had this for a while. This is the Murphys Live, and this is worth. I mean, has no sales history. I think it sold once for $25. I looked on Pop Psych, but it's autographed on the back, which doesn't really matter with private press stuff because Lord knows there's probably only a few hundred copies of this. But these were a family of Australian folks, and they played like a little bit of gospel, but most of it's just like they're playing in Las Vegas in this recording, and it's real. Most of it's bad, but there's a little bit of funky in there, and I'm like, it's a little. I mean, the funky is like surprising when it sneaks up on you. So I have to be really in the mood for that record to put it on. But I'm not going to sell it because it's not worth anything. Nobody even knows what it is. So it's one of those deals. This is a couple I've been listening to this week that are really good that I've had for a while. This is Major Arcana. This is incredible record. Really like a psychedelic. It's just like a psychedelic record, but it has some real like cool synth work, real ethereal in places. But absolutely, it's one of the coolest records, man. The album art, you could sit and look at it for days. And I bought this a few years ago, just kind of on a whim, kind of a blind buy. Comparative to the Discogs numbers, somebody had a copy that was in really, really good shape, that was a good price. And I was like, if I don't like it, I'll just flip it. And it was superb. A really cool record if you could find. Just this to listen to online or something. That's a really cool one, and I've been really listening to that a little bit here lately. This is another one, 20th Century Zoo, Thunder on a Clear Day. This is a psych record you don't see. I don't know. I don't ever see anybody talk about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but really good. It's got some heavy fuzz guitar stuff to it, but highly recommend this one. This one has been burning up the turntable just a little bit here lately. I'm coming down there in a minute, buddy. I'm coming. I'm making a video. Give me a minute. I'll bring you some chips. I'm going to make you some food, okay? All right. So, this is one I've been looking for just passively for a while. This is a Bobby Gentry, the Delta Suite. This is... I feel like this record used to come around a lot when I was first getting into buying and selling, but now people are buying them up, I guess, and they're hard to get. This is, I guess, probably her most valuable one, but Bobby Gentry's a fantastic, female country vocal, but really cool person. Bobby Gentry was brilliant, really great record, but it's just kind of a little bit hard to find. But man, it's not as much on the country side as it is just really good female, folk country vocal, really good stuff. I mean, it's more in the vein of, singer-songwriter than it is country, I think. But tough to get. This one walked in the shop and it was super clean, and I was like, man, I gotta bring that one home with Daddy. This is one I've been after for a long time. This is called Wizard, the original Wizard. This is an original press, fantastic condition. I had a copy that I actually have had for so long. I thought it was an original, but it wasn't. It was a second press. And this one, I was looking. I found this copy was super clean. I was kind of comparing it to that one, and I was like, "Oh crap, this one isn't even an original." I thought it was, and so this is my new copy. That's an original, whatever. But I found the other one like out in the wild, like probably 10 years ago. I don't know, and it was just one of those records that no one knew about. Like I was like, "Have you ever heard this record called Wizard?" And everybody's like, "No." But man, this is a really good hard rock record. Smoking guitar licks on it. Definitely check that one out if you've never heard it. This is one somebody traded in. I didn't even know that they had put this out. This is Vinyl Me Please. Medeski, Martin and Wood, The Dropper. I kind of forgot about Medeski, Martin and Wood, and when I was like maybe 2005 to 7, I had some buddies that were bass players, and they were like nuts about Medeski, Martin and Wood, and I was like, man, I gotta. I would listen to them all the time with them, and I was like, man, this is kind of weird, but really good, and I just kind of forgot about them after I stopped hanging out with those guys, and somebody brought this in the shop, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to burn this up on the turntable, and just couldn't bring myself to sell it. So I'm sure you can still get these. I don't think they're like rare or anything, but really cool. Nice to listen to some Medeski, Martin and Wood. And like, I mean, I have been honestly, I don't want to keep talking about Little Feat, but I've been listening to a lot of Little Feat lately, like a lot. I've just been in a zone with Little Feat. So all these autographed Little Feats I got from that storage unit. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with them. And I put this one in the shop, which this is one of my favorite Little Feat records. I put this in the shop and it hadn't sold, so I was like, screw it, I'm keeping them. So I've got all of them autographed. I've got this one, Sailing Shoes. Got all these autographed. Now, unfortunately, and then I've got the Waiting for Columbus Mofi that's autographed. It's over there. But unfortunately, Lowell George wasn't present for these signings. I think he might have already passed. But yeah, I mean, it's still nonetheless very cool to have. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to keep them. I don't like... I usually, like with the album I really like, if I have a Mofi, I usually won't let that be my only copy. Just because, like, if I'm playing, because I have another record player downstairs, so if I'm playing a record for my kids or something, I want like a play copy that's not, I'm worried about anything happening to it or whatever. So with those, they can be in my play copy and then they're autographed, so that's good. So I'm going to show you my wife's guitar and talk about it for a minute, and I might play a little ditty on it. This is a beautiful guitar, man. So this is a Gibson. It's a SJ200 Rosewood, and I put this it's that truss rod cover with the I put that on there because I know Emily and I thought she would like it. But she had a Gibson Songwriter, probably, I think I bought it for like 5 years ago, and when we opened the shop we sold everything. And I was like, I sold a bunch of my guitars, and I was like, do you want this guitar? And at the time she was having trouble with her hands. Like, she was having some pain in her hands. She wasn't really playing guitar much anymore, which is a shame because she's very good. But and she's like, you know what? When I play your guitar anyways, because I have a J45 that's like, it plays great. So she's like, your plays better than mine anyways. I don't really love the guitar. I'm not in love with it. I'd like to get a J200 one day, or SJ200 one day. And I was like, well, like at that time I was like, there's no way I'll ever be able to afford one of those, but whatever. And so I was like, I'll buy one someday when I can or whatever. Because I mean, they go for a lot, very expensive guitars. And so I was like, I'll try to get you one someday. And I've been looking for one ever since, because I like, I try to make good on my promises to my wife and my kids. Like that's a big deal to me. And so I have been looking for the right one that I think she would like, that's the right color and all this stuff. Just, I know her so well, I know what she would like. And this one popped up, and I saw it, and I was like, that's the one. I've got to buy that guitar. So I ended up getting a really smoking deal on it, and it plays like a dream. I did a couple things to it, obviously changed the strings on it, and I kind of shaved down a little bit for the action to be a little bit lower, adjusted the truss rod just a little bit, and I put that truss rod cover on there. So anyways, so I know a little about guitars enough to kind of set one up, but yeah, I'm sure that I'll probably get it set up by a professional at some point. But this is just a really good sounding little guitar, so I thought I'd play a little ditty on it if you care. So, all right, since I've been talking about Little Feat so much, I'm gonna play a Little Feat song called "Willin'." I've been walked by the rain, driven by the snow, down and dirty, don't you know that I've been willing? Well, I was down by the road late one night, saw my pretty little Alice in every headlight. Alice, Dallas, Alice. Well, I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that's ever been made, driven the back roads so I wouldn't get away. And if you give me wee whites and wine, show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving. Well, I've been kicked by the rain, robbed by the sleet, had my head stoked in, but I'm still on my feet, and I'm still willing. Smuggle some smoke, some folks from Mexico, baked by the sun every time I go to Mexico. I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that's ever been made, driven the back road so I wouldn't get away. And if you give me wee whites and wine, show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving. There you go, folks. There you go, folks. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I don't whip out the guitar very often, but sometimes I find an excuse too. I love playing guitar. I did that for years and found my identity in it, and really wanted to be a rock star for a living when I was young. But then at a certain point I realized that go into a crowd, throw a rock, and you're going to hit somebody who can play guitar and sing, just as good or better than me. So, you got to know how good you're not, you know what I mean? So I don't think I can make a living ever doing it or anything, but it's something I enjoy, and my kids like when we sit around and play guitar and sing and stuff like that. So, maybe that was a treat for y'all. Maybe you hated it. So just let me know. I did the Towns Van Zandt cover a while back. That was the last time I did it. But anyways, thoughts for the new year. Been thinking a whole lot about, how we want our lives to go. And this time of year, my wife is a big New Year's resolution person. I'm not as much, but I do still think that it's a very valid thing to take account of your year that you had, and to evaluate what was good and what was bad and how you can fix it next year. I think that's a very healthy thing to do. This past couple years being what it is, with everything going on, not to say the word, but you know how it is with all the sicknesses going on, and the shutdowns and the politics and all the stuff, man, and everybody's been so zeroed in on their phones, You know, you need your phone for news, and you need your phone to stay connected to other people because you might not be able to get together and all that stuff. And, you know, I use my phone primarily as a business tool to advertise for my business. It's a very important tool for that. But I really have tried the past couple of years to detach myself from it, you know, not to see my identity in whatever, you know. So like I care about how many subscribers I have and all that stuff, just for the basic point that I care about y'all. I care that what I'm doing is making an impact. I care that what I put out online is being received and people are identifying with it, and it's spreading joy, hopefully, to people. That's what I care about, really. I don't find my identity in that. I find my identity in being a good dad and being a good husband and being a good ethical person, and making, like, I want people to, you know, after they talk to me or after they have an encounter with me, to think, man, I feel good, you know, that guy made me feel good or whatever. You know, I want that to be my personality. So this year I'm really focusing towards being off my phone even more. And I might even pay one of my guys at the shop to run my social media for me, so I don't have to, you know, I have so many people send me messages all constantly send me messages like, hey, I found this, Herbie Hancock record, and I'm curious to how much it's worth and what pressing it is and all that stuff. And it's like, I get like 20 messages like that a day that people ask me to identify a record and tell them what it's worth, and it's like all this time and energy, and it's for nothing, you know. And so I really want to kind of lessen how much I do that, and like put more time and energy into being really intentional with my kids. You know, I bought them a lot of intentional gifts this year, as far as, like, you know, things we can do together, projects we can build. I bought one of my sons like an archery kit where we can shoot archery together, and a kite where we can fly kites together, stuff like that. Yeah, stuff that's outside, not inside, not on screens. So that's kind of what I want for our kids. We have some pretty significant long-term goals that we're going to work on this year that are probably going to come to fruition. We're working on building a home. It's been a long-term dream to build this house, and we've just been working on it. So the spot we're in right now is kind of temporary until that happens. So we're working on it. So there's a lot of exciting things, but just wanted to tell you guys, I appreciate everybody who watches these videos. If you've gotten this far in this video, I appreciate, you know, you sticking around and listening to my thoughts and being a part of the community. Really love putting these videos up and seeing what you guys say and how you guys respond. But I think that this is a good time of year for us to stand back and say, okay, what's important in my life? Like, you know, for me, records are very important. They're a good source of income. They're what connects me to a lot of different people. They're what connects me to community, things like that. But also, you know, if I'm going to be in records, I have to have my kids involved. I have to make sure that it's not something that's just for me. And I have to make sure that I don't let it take over my thoughts, and I take time for them. Because when I look back at my dad growing up, you know, I think of a lot of the really good things that he did, and the really intentional things that he did for me, and ways that he taught me and helped me grow and all that stuff. And when I think about what my kids are going to see me as when they're my age now, you know, when they're 33 years old and they look back at their kids, or they look back at me and how I raised them, you know, I want them to think, man, my dad was a man. He really was a hard worker, but he took time for us. You know, he wasn't on his phone all the time. You know, he took time to really focus on us and make sure that we grew into strong men who did great things. So that's really what I want for my kids. And that's kind of what I've been working towards. Like, and every year this time, I think, what could I do to give them more time and to give them more attention? And what could I do to empower my wife and help her, you know, fulfill her dreams like she's helped me fulfill mine. So anyways, this is a really good time of year to think about those things. And so that's been really heavy on my mind and my heart here lately. So hopefully it has been on yours as well. Hopefully that you guys are thinking about your families and thinking about how you can, whether, you know, you may not be married, you may not have kids, but whatever relationships you have in your life, how you can be a better version of yourself. But thank y'all so much for watching this video and hearing me rant about positive things and listening to my Little Feat song. I've really been digging that song lately. So there's a lot of really good covers of it. and that one is my mediocre cover. So let me know what y'all think. Have a great day.